Hi, I'm Jennifer Queen with the Jennifer Queen team in RE/MAX Professionals, and I've had a few people reach out and ask what I thought about Zillow's whole exit from the iBuyer or flipping business in the United States. So I thought I would share my thoughts today. Truthfully, Zillow doesn't really exist in Canada the same way it exists right now in the United States. If you talk to somebody in the United States, they've all probably been on Zillow within the last 30 days. In Canada, Zillow has tried to break into some larger markets, namely Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, I think were the ones I saw on their site when I went to check, but it's nothing like it is in the United States. Here you would still go to Realtor.ca to check for newest listings, everything, whereas it might not be the case in the United States. Also, what you're going to find here in Canada is that Realtor.ca, again, is our most heavily used platform, but it's not a platform that sells information yet, as far as I know anyways. But I know in other countries like this United States, they pay for their leads, and we don't pay for that here as realtors in Canada. If somebody inquires about a listing or something, it goes to the realtor directly. So the two platforms are a little bit different as far as how they're being monetized. So that could have to do with some of the different policies we have in Canada too. Who knows? I don't know. But what I can tell you is that Zillow is a dominator in the United States that we do need to keep an eye out for here in Canada, and just to see how it transitions over to Canada, because a lot of the time what we see when there's these huge market players in the United States is a few years later they slowly kind of trickle into Canada and we adopt them here too. Usually a little bit more slowly than they do in the United States. I think we're a little more reserved as a population, but if it's in the United States, I wouldn't be surprised if we get it here in Canada too. So for those that don't know what Zillow is or what this whole story is about, Zillow recently announced that it would be closing its iBuyer program. The best way to explain it is it's a flipping program that the company offered. So what they would do is they would go out, they would make offers on homes that were in cash, and the whole draw was that a seller could sell their home online and they wouldn't have to deal with the hassle of showings. They wouldn't have to hire a realtor and pay those commissions. There could be quick closings because the buyer, Zillow, was paying cash. There are a lot of really attractive reasons for people to want to go with this option. There were still about 5 to 7% service fees that you had to pay as part of that iBuyer program. Otherwise, the hassle sounded great. Of course, not being on a free open market does come at a cost though, right? If your home isn't being properly marketed and you're kind of getting convenience, you are going to be sacrificing money on the other side. So a lot of these homes were being purchased by Zillow at a discount based on some metrics they would use. It would typically be below fair market value. A lot of people ask me, so then why would anybody want to sell their home to Zillow and take such a hit on it for price? And the answer is everybody's situation is different. I would say the majority of people, yes, it makes sense to go on the open market, have lots of buyers come through, especially in this seller's market, and get that traffic and traction. But there's situations where that doesn't work. Say you have a relative that has passed away, you've been named the executor or executrix of the estate. Again, the home is several hours away. Do you want to be the one going out there to deal with contractors to get it prepped for sale and staging and all that, right? Or is it easier to just call up a company like this and say, yes, I just want to unload it and not have to deal with it. It represents a challenge for me. Or other situations I've seen where this might be an option where it works is like in a divorce situation where the two sellers might just hate each other and not want to see each other or deal with each other. A quick 7-day sale represents a nice and clean break, really. Or there's situations where, say, somebody has written an offer on another property and it's subject to the sale of their home. They don't want to risk losing that next property in the event that their home takes longer to sell. So here it's nice to have that guaranteed sale and to just get you into the next home. Now, those kind of are not everybody's situation, and I would say they're probably more of a rarity than anything, but there are situations where a program like this being able to sell your home quickly for cash do seem appropriate. So if Zillow is buying all these homes, they're buying them at a discount in this market where there's no inventory and people are paying such premiums, what went wrong? And here's what I think, and this is purely me speculating, but this is what I think. I think that Zillow was trying to, well, there's a few things, but I think Zillow was trying to amass a huge amount of market share. And I think that sometimes when you are looking so much at the big goal, you kind of lose sight of the smaller pieces of the puzzle. And I think that what happened was perhaps they weren't buying these homes at the discount they needed to be. They might have been not overpaying in terms of market value, but overpaying in what they should be paying for these homes. And it was just to acquire more real estate in certain key areas. Another thing that I think came into play was the rising cost of materials. So they announced this program, they started buying up all these homes, and now we're hearing all about these lumber shortages, or I guess right now it's plastics. It's all kinds of materials that are in short supply. Another issue was also contractors. Contractors became really busy over the last few years. People were staying at home, they wanted to do more renovations. Contractors are hard to come by right now. And so when you're delaying and having to wait for your contractor, you're adding carrying costs there on your inventory. Another thing to keep in mind too is also just actual inventory shortages. So in Winnipeg right now, I know some builders were having a hard time getting windows for their homes that they're building. And any time that you start adding time to your timeline and you're looking at this as individual homes, not just like inventory sitting on a shelf somewhere, you are amassing large amounts of carrying costs. I believe the stats were that they had between 7,000 and 8,000 homes that Zillow was carrying throughout the US. So think about that. Think about paying property taxes on all those homes. Think about paying utilities. The costs really add up. So I think it was kind of a combination of all of those costs really adding up, plus paying a little bit too much for them at the beginning. Never mind all of the actual work and effort that goes into coordinating all of these pieces too, right? Also, you have to keep in mind that some US areas are reporting a slight slowdown in the market. It's still very much a seller's market, but it's not like the crazy bidding wars that there once were. So perhaps Zillow saw signs of slightly softening market and word of increasing interest rates, etc. You know, it might have just been the time for them to pull the plug because this was a loss leader for sure. But ultimately what lost here was not the iBuyer or the flipper client. What lost was Zillow. They lost 25% of their workforce right before the holidays nonetheless, but it's not the overall idea of investing in real estate that is lost. What I think too is that in any market, there's always going to be people needing to sell for similar reasons to what I said above, or it could just be personality. Right? Some people just want convenience over the most money in their pocket, and that's totally fair. But all markets are local. So if you were to reach out to me and ask me if I know of any deals right now in Calgary, I would probably tell you no. However, ask any Winnipeg Realtor that's been in the business for, I'd say, I don't know, at least a year, if they have any investors that would be interested in buying a property off market for a discount. They will tell you absolutely, especially in this market, please bring these people to us. But again, those people are fewer and far between that need to sell their home for a discount and the convenience factor. But in all honesty, is this the right way to sell a home in this market? For 99% of people, I'm gonna say absolutely not. Your best interest is to list on the fair open market, get as many buyers through, list with a realtor, get that proper marketing, staging, consults, photography, videography, and just strategy in general. And if you need somebody to help you with that, please feel free to call or text me at 204-797-7945. I'll put my contact info below here. Sorry, shameless self-promotion, but it's true. If you have a property to sell, reach out to a realtor, get the advice based on your situation and your home, and then kind of formulate a plan from there. But yeah, these markets are local and the advice given is going to differ from person to person, home to home. But no, the answer is typically not to sell your home off market in a situation similar to the iBuyer program. So Zillow lost in terms of their stock price. It was pretty decimated, cut in half. But did they really lose? My thinking is actually not necessarily. I think they've eliminated a huge capital intensive part of their business, which keeps them kind of more mobile for future expansion. They have never been a brick and mortar type of business holding physical assets, really. That was kind of out of their comfort zone, I would say. Their strength has always been in the online digital systems and marketing, really. And I think what we're going to see coming as a result of this is just stronger development within their existing platforms, perhaps more expansion into other countries like Canada that they aren't already within, but I wouldn't count them out, not at all. I think that we're gonna see Zillow come back stronger. It's just going to be the online content that we're seeing more of. That's my opinion. So I hope you guys found this valuable. I hope I haven't bored you to tears. As always, I'm Jennifer Queen with the Jennifer Queen team and RE/MAX Professionals. If you liked this content today, please feel free to hit that like button below or subscribe to our channel so that you see our future content. And also, if there's a video you want us to do, also leave it in the comments section below. It really helps us in determining what kind of content to come up with. And again, feel free to always call, text me with your real estate needs. My number is 204-797-7945. Thanks guys, and have a great day.